So, this is another one of those plankton torture festivals I see. Yes, guys, I am doing a rant on another SpongeBob episode that I hate. Which one is it? Which one is the first one I'm doing, actually? Well, you'll see. Cue the intro, please. Does this ring a bell, guys? Hi guys, Jonathan's Media Shack here again, and today, here is my rant on Krabs a la mode, another SpongeBob episode that I'm ranting on from Season 5. So basically what the plot is, the episode starts with the frigid weather in Bikini Bottom. Mr. Krabs' frugality has prevented him from adjusting the Krusty Krab's thermostat to any temperature besides 62 degrees. And Squidward's like, this motherfucker, just wait, I'm gonna change it to a toasty 63. And when Squidward tries to turn up the heat just 1 degree, an alarm goes off, and Mr. Krabs howls at him. And Mr. Krabs turns it back to 62 degrees, and he's like, he costs money, god damn it! And I'm not gonna let anyone touch me thermostat, nor let kids play in my lawn. Mr. Krabs howled, and then Squidward tells Mr. Krabs that that's so inconsiderate of him. Yeah, Squidward, you got that right. He's so selfish that he doesn't want to heat up so that the Krusty Krab could be warm. How selfish is that? This is why Mr. Krabs personality had got worse and worse and worse ever since from season 5 through 9. And yeah. And when SpongeBob's like, hey, Mr. Krabs, the kids are playing in your lawn. And Mr. Krabs like, you bitches get off of my lawn. He runs to the kids who are playing in the lawn. Wow. Not even that. He's really that much of a self-centered, arrogant son of a bitch. Yeah, I got that from Family Guy. Mr. Krabs is nothing but a self-centered, arrogant son of a bitch from seasons 5 through 9. That's what I think of. And Plankton was hidden in an old man's drink, who was swallowed alive, and has to wait until the old man accidentally stays in the bathroom long enough to be locked into the restaurant overnight. Then Plankton lets a faucet run, opens the freezer, and turns the thermostat to sub-freezing temperatures. The next morning, Squidward bitches even more than he already was, but Mr. Krabs does not allow him to turn up the thermostat because he is somehow fooled by the tape scrape of paper that says 62 degrees. Wow. That's how much Mr. Krabs is nothing but an inconsiderate prick. He's much more of a prick than anyone else. Hell, he's even much more of a prick than Patrick Star was. Yeah. Plankton actually placed the over actual temperature display with the paper that says 62 degrees. And Squidward notes that there are even icicles on the ceiling, and the customers then start to leave due to SpongeBob and Squidward sleeping on the entirely ice-covered floor with their food. Plankton sees the customers leaving and he rejoices. He then puts a sign that's saying that the chum bucket is warm and speaks to a fish walking, who then all of a sudden becomes frightened by Plankton's eye, looking through the huge telescope. Plankton then becomes really angry when he sees the customers go back to the Krusty Krab with winter wear, and Mr. Krabs had turned the restaurant into an ice rink, complete with a Clamboni ride for children. SpongeBob has then invented patty skates to help him. Squidward and the customers keep their balance. The customers even prefer cold Krabby Patties. Okay. Making Mr. Krabs very happy to sell Krabby Patties without even needing to cook them. Okay, how weird is that? I understand this is a cartoon, but this is getting weird. Claiming that he has made even more money than with the old Krusty Krab. Plankton sees Mr. Krab with his money and then becomes furious. And Karen says, "That's because unlike you, he's a good businessman." I say bullshit on that. Bullshit. And we'll get to that later on, why I think that's pure bullshit. Karen advises Plankton to swipe a Krabby Patty and he attempts to steal one. However, SpongeBob and the local hockey team block the door after Plankton tries to run them all over after hijacking their Clamboni, but he squashes them between the door. Plankton then goes over to the thermostat and reveals the true temperature. That really pisses off Mr. Krabs, who finally realizes that Squidward was right about the temperature and attempts to attack Plankton for his actions. However, Plankton begins freezing and boiling the patrons by repeatedly turning the dial in both directions. Sadly, he falls off the dial, allowing Mr. Krabs to freeze him. Of course, which makes it a Plankton torture festival. Man, do I feel so sorry for Plankton. You want to know why? Because of Mr. Krabs. He's the real antagonist, in my opinion. Not Plankton. Mr. Krabs. Especially of all the bad actions that Mr. Krabs had caused to Plankton. Tormenting him. Oh my god. See, guys? This is why I think Mr. Krabs the actual antagonist. Not Plankton in seasons 5 through 9. Then it was summertime, and Mr. Krabs turned the whole Krusty Krab into a popular public swimming pool. Relaxing on a floating chair while he thanks Plankton, who is trapped in an ice cube, for his ideas, and sips lemonade with Plankton as the ice in the drink, resulting in Plankton screaming, and that's how it ends. I'll get to part 2, so part 2 will be in session, so stay tuned for that, folks.